group up. Even a portal play from Enzo was used quite early, something that they have done a lot in dominations, almost going for like hostage take plays to try and surprise ChopperMag, but they managed to get out of it. That means that if it gets to 99% and we get overtime, Enzo's not going to have the portal in hand.
Bobo goes down, Enzo is pushing up to try to make the most of this. Let the devil out, it's available, but go with Feast from the Abyss into the backline, not able to find the full target. Nice Dark Force teleport from Alex to avoid that initial engage. Duet falls to Enzo, and we are seeing Citadel Gaming pushing back up to the point, trying to go for the retake. Blaster Barrage from Tanuki, who's in the backline. Mantis has to use the Soul Resurgence just to stay up. Diving on back, Tanuki up to the high ground, finding the Battle Rebirth Beacon as Peptic is going in deep. The devil has been unleashed. We're Galactic Legend from Tanuki with the Eternal Bond from Alex is allowing Citadel to try and drive back ChopperMag with Fidel being taken out. They are running out of tools, Ryan.
They still haven't taken the point as it's about to reach 99% for ChopperMag. Now they get it. Oh, almost. There's still one player that's going to push it all the way to 99% perfect for ChopperMag.
Bobo pushing up, going into the stealth to try and make the way to the point with the Freedom Charge being activated on both sides. Duet and Polly. Enzo is taken down first in this fight. Battle Rebirth Beacon will bring them back as Melly's going to pull the trigger first. Dance on the butterfly, onto the backline. Fidel is removed again, but counter Battle Rebirth Beacon from Skittles keeps them in this fight, meaning it's even. Alex not so lucky, taken out, but Melio retakes onto Peptic. It's back and forth, Ryan.
It's really a case of this coming through. Enzo connecting onto one of Fidel. There's enough damage, maybe a little bit of healing to keep him going, but Tanuki is the hunted dog that's trying to get those picks to make sure that ChopperMag keep themselves a player down. However, they've taken the objective back into their favor. It means it's OT. It's not progressing for Citadel Gaming at all. Enzo, I don't think he's going to have the portal because he tried to go for the play beforehand. So it's a case of Pully trying to survive to keep stalling as much as he possibly can. He's actually doing terrifically, but it's down to the wire. ChopperMag, those first couple of fights where they're able to just keep staggering Citadel Gaming enough to take Carousel.
Nicely done. ChopperMag takes the lead, and Citadel Gaming.
It seemed to be a good read. I mean, it's a common play to Citadel Gaming make. It means that if we do get to overtime on this point, that the portal should be ready. That's how the timings tend to work. But the Iron Amplifier is going to be used from Ken to allow just a little bit more lethality with Citadel's approach. They've got a couple of picks. They've got a Beer bat that's brought Alex back into the fray as they've gone down. This should be them taking the fight. A couple of plays gone down for ChopperMag, but they're stalling out as much as they possibly can. It just seems to be the elimination feed is full of the red of Citadel. Major Eye of Agamotto's. The AoE stun can be blocked by so much, but the Soul Resurgence is going to be used first from Fidel. They want to try and go for this fight, and it really sets up Bobo nicely with the Dance of the Butterflies. Cutting through two. One is going to be brought back. The Invisible Boundary was used from Alex, but I think because he was eliminated, it got shut down early. To the Butterflies as well. Everybody's thrown themselves into a choke, though. It's not the perfect position. He wants to isolate targets if he can, but they lose Duep in the process. Zenstar looking for a chance to dive. He's going to have the Vanguard counterpart back in a second with the BRB. He finds himself two. Enzo's trading onto Fidel, so it is just Skittles alive to work with. He's used the Arm Amplifier to really set up these duelists to find these picks. It's 99% again. Citadel Gaming, they could go down 0 and 2 on this domination map.
They're delaying as best as they can. Polly charges up to the point with the Liberty Rush. Ken is portaling in. They've had to swap it, but overtime ticks down. They can't reach, and ChopperMag take the lead in the series.
Domination just hasn't been going well for Citadel Gaming at all. ChopperMag, they sort of know the approach. Getting this far is a testament.
Bobo is taking down Peptic, looking for the reinforcement. Going to try and take out the rocket on the backline to remove that Battle Rebirth Beacon to prevent any kind of reinforcement. It's Jeff from Skittles to remove the attackers from the board, trying to grab someone up onto the side of the map as Bobo takes to the sky. Melio with Dance of the Butterfly takes out Dueb and is chasing down the defenders. Peptic falls, but Dueb is brought back, and the Battle Rebirth Beacon to keep this fight going. Ken is healing up the team as best as they can, go for their own. It's Jeff to try and remove them from the board, chasing them inside the building to make sure there's no escape if they can get Rocket. They don't find it. It's just too high with the speed bubbles onto the point. Tanuki is trying to chase them away. They're so isolated here. They even need to go down fast or get out of here, and it looks like it will be the former.
Both these teams love to play and fight, but it is just the one on the objective. Still being stalled out from ChopperMag, and even using the Daredevil ult. Citadel Gaming are trying to make traction, but they're stuck in the mud.
Bobo on the track. Bobo's forced to retreat though back as Polly's in the backline. Carrot with the Cosmic Yard Amplifier for the bonus health, but it's going to be taken out quickly. No more bonus health for ChopperMag. Here comes the Galactic Legend, and there's no defensive abilities at all for Citadel. Tanuki is down. Alex is down. With overtime on the line. They're running out of time. Melio with the Dance of the Butterfly takes out Peptic. Skittles removes Enzo from the board, which is the main health pool. Tanuki is over to the Doctor Strange to make sure they can pull it back in because Melio is having to touch in order to buy
the pole.
Jams! schemes. You can remove Battle Rebirth Beacon from the point, then that will remove the defenders, but overtime is ticking down. Here comes with the Heaven's Descent to hold the line for just a second longer. Overtime is removed, and ChopperMag are holding. They push them back, and they hold Citadel at point 159 meters.
And doing it from their playbook, right? We saw Citadel Gaming play on this map before.
Forced back by Duep, who's been putting on a clinic on this Captain America. Pethick takes out one group, Wall is immediately focused down, has to deflect, and is punished for their greed. G, the Chinese team, and has brought out the Iron Fist to try and melt through that Groot, melt through that Emma, onto the point. Pethick getting the stun, onto Tanuki, who retreats up to the high ground. Means they'll still stay in this fight. We're also building up close to that God of Mischief, which means we'll have our first Karmic Revival or the Invisible Boundary, but Alex charges up first, as in comes Momo into the backline for the first set of crack and impact, onto the point to try and reset up with the Loki Zone, straggling Prison. Pethick is the first to fall, though. Skittles keeping the team topped up with the counter Invisible Boundary, so that they can push on through. Citadel holding the line, at least for the moment. No resets coming on in. The Cosmic Yard Amplifier, though, is dropping them low. Here comes the clone. It's a second Invisible Boundary, and Citadel are holding this, but Tanuki outside of the boundary will fall.
Yeah, Duep's managed to take him down with just a volley. Now sign of seduction from Enzo's going to try and go in for the counter-attack, stem the bleeding, so to speak, but he goes down in the process. That camera revival for Melio, he's sat in the back pocket. He goes down. He's got the life cocoon that can bring him in, but he has to find some space. Duep is carving through them as the Magneto. Citadel Gaming holding on by the skin of their teeth. It means that Enzo has not got the portal play for, what, 2.5 minutes, but you would expect that this is going to go on a lot more than that with some of these overtime fights, and with that payload having to travel a good amount past this first point. But there's 1 minute left for ChopperMag to get stuff together. You're trying to synergize that Kraken's impact with that Strangling Prison, but it's not ready yet. He's going to go in first, actually, with the Invisible Boundary. This is a hot tempo play for ChopperMag. If Citadel survive it, they have a great advantage.
Final introduction to try and pull them out of the boundary. It will get onto Z-Starry, but they're still tanking, able to push on through. Kraken impact from Pethick to open up, to force that Invisible Boundary out. Kraken impact finds nothing, forced to retreat through the point. In comes the Loki with the Clover. Buys Magamoto! Onto the point, and suddenly Citadel are coming up daisies here. It's a full wipe with delay, as they are going to stagger Duep and give them no chance. They pull him away from the edge, so he can't go down quicker. They delay him all the way, and that means ChopperMag are taking this last fight 5v6. Trying to hold this, but with Pethick down, they're running out of time and momentum. Enzo's already charged up for another Eye of Agamotto. Alex with the Invisible Boundary. Ken has the God of Mischief for an extra clone. There comes the stun, but it's all in favor of Citadel right now. They have the numbers. Invisible Boundary number 2. Eye of Agamotto one more time. They see the future, and it's a even matchup as ChopperMag are just being whittled down one by one. Melio falls, has Cocoon, can reinforce onto this fight as ChopperMag are just out of tools.
Out of steam completely, and you have to say the main hero there is Enzo on that Doctor Strange. We saw his Eye of Agamotto's, the stuns, be shut down so often by good force physics and good bulwarks from Magneto up against Rajaro and Na'Vi, and all through the group stages, able to connect onto the right people against some pretty tough counter characters. Tanuki on the Daredevil.
Melio, they're just going to try and commit to this. Don't give them the chance to react. They take down Adam once again. Meteor M to try and blow him up. Melio going to be wrapping around for the defense, but Zenzi frames on the rolls, and of course that bonus help when you do so as well makes you very hard to be taken out in an air-to-air duel. Duet's going to be picked off by Melio, who's so good with this shotgun for the Punisher for dealing with backliners. Eye of Agamotto into the air to take out Z-Starry. Enzo, ignoring the ground, is seeing the sky.
It's just, even though it connects onto one, the fact that the rest of Citadel Gaming were ready to jump on top. You've got the Strangling Prison used in an alcove more than anything to clear out some of these spots, but they get the picks, they get the space. It's not going to matter all too much. You've even got Tanuki still over on the Storm. He has the Omega Hurricane. He could just bank on it. He sat back, waited to get towards this second checkpoint, and then Amelio, he's gone down a couple of times now, still wants to try and build up that final judgment as a way to sort of clear this objective. The Omega Hurricane not getting too much for Tanuki. Yarn Amplify up in that damage, seeing if they can get Enzo online potentially with this Eye of Agamotto at the same time. There comes Melio just leaping into the fray,
Now holding it together, Ivagomoto going to be blocked out by the barrier of the Sephiroth. It's not enough to keep Tanuki up, but Enzo holding the fight has their own Ivagomoto to look for the turnaround right from above the point to remove the defenders, as Citadel is going to be walled off for the one last chance at the defense. Using the building as a little bit of cover from the Galactic Legends, Boba's going to try and find the angle, has the fire hose of Skittles to keep them topped up, playing quite high in the air, utilizing the high buildings themselves for a little bit of cover, as Duep's going to be chased down as they're completely separated. Cosmic Guard Amplifier straggling Prison onto the backline to chase them all the way to spawn. Freedom Charge going to be coming out for a little bit of extra sustain with the Soul Resurgence, but Melio damage boosted onto the point with Goddess boost, and the Allied Inspire is trying to remove all the defenders, but it's a huge delay coming in from Zenstari, buying so much time for the revives. Meteor M to try and take him down, finds nothing. Bobo falls, Skittles is down, Zenstari is down, and we are heading all the way to Avengers Tower here for Citadel.
And Midtown is always a cinematic masterpiece for Citadel. Whether it's win or loss, they love to give us a good game, especially a full best of 3, best of 5 in some of these games. But it's finishing the map. That's usually sort of like a nail in the spooky Halloween coffin for ChopperMag potentially. Finishing the map in these kind of game modes a little bit trickier, but it's the fact that Citadel Gaming
into the backline and catching Skittles right outside the spawn door.
Oh, they pretty much took him all the way in. Oh, if Enzo got pulled into the enemy spawn, he would have been instantly deleted, but the Be Right Backs are going to, again, come to fruition. Both teams really making use out of Rocket Raccoon, not only for the Be Right Back, but just how mobile these strategists are. It's why the Iron Fist and the Psylocke are in play, just to chase, make sure that these rodents don't get too much done in the backline, keeping their teams alive.
Zenstari moving over to the Angela, looking to just try and put some pressure, see if they can continue the very dive-heavy strategy that ChopperMag have been leading on to. They've abandoned their own Iron Fist all the way from spawn to give their team a path, but Heaven's Descent is the doorway. That will slow them down and give so much distance over to ChopperMag. Charging on in, brings in Enzo, a lovely gift for the team, but Fidel's going to be the first to fall. The Cosmic Guard Amplifier from Citadel, giving them the damage output to push onto the point. Melio pulling in for the dance of the butterflies to try and take out the attackers. Zenstari and Bobo are both eliminated.
Oh, but Perfect, the one-sided Daredevil, is trying to claw back a redemption at the man without fear on Halloween, and might be able to catch some of these players from Citadel that have to try and reset them back out because ChopperMag were hungry for a few more picks.
I thought Perfect was playing Daredevil. Like you said, Bobo the man without fear, but you don't need to have much fear when you have a Rocket Network teleport back to the objective, that astral jump, to return you to a safe location after you've dived onto the objective. Perfect right now looking for the high ground, has eyes on Melio to try and remove them from the board. With the damage out, but the chase is good. The Devil has been unleashed, but again knocks back off the point for the first time. The Heaven's Descent is buying a lot of time, but that Cosmic Guard Amplifier is keeping Citadel in it with the Freedom Charge. Doubling up on that bonus health means they will sustain through.
Perfect is just finding these hands from all the members of Citadel Gaming, and now
so Soulbond becomes the next highest priority because they already have that Battle Rebirth beacon, so every bit of sustain that they can use to hold this fight will be incredibly useful, as Enzo has access to that Meteor M for that last second defense. Skittle not having that. It's Jeff for any more time. It's going to be quite a while away. Enzo gets stunned down. The first to fall, removing the Battle Rebirth beacon. Invisible boundary, sniped out of the air, taken down. As the dive from Tanuki is going to remove Fidel, moving that Battle Rebirth beacon on their own side, but it's too late. Bobo. Perfect holding the line, at least for the moment. Polly with the Freedom Charge. Heavens to set up to the point, but immediately going to be bopped back off the point. Forced to take to the sky. Cosmic Guard Amplifier for Alex. For the sustain. We're so close to a Karmic Revival, meaning they just have to keep Melio up. A beautiful charge onto Polly, but they're just too fast, too mobile. Battle Rebirth beacon brings back Ken into the fight as Skittles is on the flank, making sure everyone is topped up, but the dive might be too much. Bobo is down, as is Zenstari. It's Jeff onto the point.
And it's cleared up. ChopperMag unable to go further on to match, finishing the map for Citadel Gaming. And they don't do things by halves, they do things by 3. Citadel Gaming able to move up in the winners bracket, but much like every single game for them at the Grand Finals event here in Atlanta,